Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at, well, a really powerful story of transformation. We see a lot of self-improvement ideas, but the contrast here is just striking.
It really is. It grabs you immediately. Picture this. 7 years ago, Christmas Eve night, the person we're focusing on isn't home with family. He's cleaning office buildings.
Ugh.
Yeah. Broke, totally frustrated, feeling trapped, doing a job he hates on a night he desperately wants to be somewhere else. That mix of, obligation and feeling stuck, it's powerful.
That image cleaning an empty office on Christmas Eve, that's a low point. But then the flip side is just incredible. Less than a year later.
Complete turnaround.
Yeah.
Financially free, still in his 20s. He and his wife both quit their jobs. They bought their dream house. And apparently they got chickens.
Chickens, the ultimate symbol of making it right. Time and location freedom plus poultry.
It says a lot about just how radical the change was. But the big question, the one we're diving into, is how? How do you get from that Christmas Eve low to, well, to the chickens and financial freedom in under 12 months?
And the source material we're looking at makes it really clear. This whole massive shift wasn't gradual drifting. It apparently kicked off one specific night when he stopped wishing and actually made a decision.
Right. And that's our focus today, unpacking his step-by-step 90-day blueprint for basically completely changing your life.
Okay, but we have to start with what he means by decision, because it's not just, I'd like to change.
Exactly. His definition is critical. A decision, according to him, literally means to cut off all other options. It's decisive, like burning the ships behind you.
No going back.
No going back. Once you decide, truly decide in this way, the only path is forward. That intense psychological commitment, that's the engine for this whole 90-day thing.
Okay, so let's break down the blueprint. Where does it start? It seems like the absolute foundation is what he calls the brutally honest reality check.
Yes, you have to start there. The source is adamant. Without this really intense self-honesty, the rest of the plan it won't work. It's guaranteed to fail.
Why is that so crucial? Why the brutal honesty?
Well, think about it like navigation, right? You can't plot a course if you don't know exactly where you are right now. Most people, the source suggests, kind of fudge their starting point. They sugarcoat things.
Yeah, we don't like to admit how bad things might be.
Precisely. And if you do that, if you aren't brutally honest, you don't generate enough internal, friction or motivation to actually power through a really intense 90-day sprint. You need that push.
Okay, so this reality check, it's not just vague introspection. It has 3 specific steps. First, what do you actually want to change?
And here's the kicker, don't list everything wrong with your life. So you usually do, right? A giant list.
Guilty.
He insists. Pick just one thing, maybe 2 or 3 at the absolute maximum, but ideally just one huge thing.
One thing. How do you choose?
It needs to be the lever, the one core issue that if you significantly improved it, everything else in your life would naturally start to get at least a little bit better as a consequence.
Okay, so for the guy cleaning the offices.
It was obvious, wasn't it? His financial situation. That was the trap. That was the root cause of the frustration, the missed holidays. So he focused everything on fixing his finances. He knew that domino would eventually knock over the others: time, stress, maybe even health.
That's a powerful insight. So
Yeah.
you're listening. Don't try to boil the ocean. Find the one big crack in the foundation. Okay, step 2 is interesting because it's about what not to change. What do you want to keep?
Yeah, I liked this part too. It's about recognizing your assets. You need to identify one core strength you already have, or maybe a positive obsession, something you're already good at or passionate about.
Like a tool in your toolbox.
Exactly. A tool you need to protect while you're doing all this hard work. For the speaker, it was his self-professed obsession with learning and growth. Even when everything else felt like it was failing, he knew he was good at learning. That was his anchor.
That's great. It acknowledges you're not starting from absolute zero. Not everything is broken. Okay, step 3, the strong why. This sounds critical.
Oh, it's maybe the most critical part for sticking with it. If your why isn't strong enough, that decision you made, the cutting off of options, it'll last maybe, what, 10 days? Couple of weeks?
Before the old habits creep back in?
Right. The why has to hit you emotionally. It needs to connect to real pain or a deep, burning desire. A vague goal like, I want to get in shape. It's too weak. It won't pull you through the hard
Do
days.
you need something more visceral?
Definitely. Like, I want to lose weight because my knees ache constantly and I can't play with my kids without being in pain, or I'm embarrassed every time I have to take my shirt off at the beach. That has emotional power. It has to sting or it has to really inspire you deeply.
His personal why. The source mentions it was about his kids, right?
Yeah, really profound. He wanted to be present for his kids. He never again wanted to miss out on holidays or important moments because he was stuck doing soul-crushing work he hated. That deep emotional reason, that's what makes the decision stick. That's the fuel for the 90 days.
Okay, so you've done the internal work. You know what you want to change, what you want to keep, and why you're doing it. What's next? The source is you immediately pivot to the external. Environment and identity.
That's right. You've sorted out the inside, now you need to sort out the outside and, crucially, who you are becoming. First, the environment. He calls it the minimalist reset.
Decluttering.
Yeah, but more than just tidying up. The idea is if your physical space is chaotic and messy, your mental space will be too. A clean, organized, put-together environment. It breeds clarity. It reduces background stress. You should actually feel proud of the space where you're going to do this important transformation work.
Makes sense. Control what you can control. And he extends this to personal appearance too, using physical cues.
Yes, and this is a neat psychological trick. It's low effort but high impact. Change something physical about yourself or your immediate surroundings. A new haircut, a different way of dressing, even just rearranging your desk significantly.
Why does that help?
It acts as a constant subconscious reminder that you are changing, that the old you is being left behind. His example was starting to wear all black. A simple, consistent uniform.
Less decision fatigue in the morning too, I bet.
Probably. But the main point was it physically represented his new identity-focused, disciplined, changed. It's an easy win, a visible sign that things are different now.
Okay, but that leads into the absolute core of this whole thing, doesn't it? The identity shift. This seems like the linchpin.
It absolutely is.
Yep.
This is the difference maker between just trying a new habit for a bit and actually transforming permanently. He uses this brilliant analogy about reputation.
Ah, yes, the friend loaning money example.
Right. If you lend a friend money and then you go around telling everyone, oh, Sarah, she's incredibly honest, she always pays her debts back on time, Sarah feels this immense pressure to live up to that reputation you've given her.
Social pressure, basically.
Exactly. And the source says you have to do that to yourself. You have to consciously, deliberately give yourself the reputation of the person you are deciding to become.
So you don't say, I'm trying to be a writer.
No, you say, I am a writer. If you want to be a successful creator, you adopt the identity. I am a creator. And then you ask, what do creators do?
They create.
They create. So the actions naturally follow the identity. This is where the small daily votes for that identity come in. If you are a creator, you commit to doing one thing related to creating every single day. For him, it was one action for his YouTube channel every day, apparently, for 7 years straight.
Wow, 7 years. That's commitment born from identity.
And it also means actively refusing the old habits associated with the old identity. If you've decided, I am a healthy person, then getting fast food just doesn't align. It feels wrong, dissonant.
It's not about willpower anymore.
Less so. Willpower runs out. We all know that.
Yeah.
But acting against your core, chosen identity feels fundamentally inconsistent. It's a deeper motivator than just forcing yourself to do something. You are this person now, so you act accordingly.
Okay, so identity is set. You are the creator, the healthy person, whatever it is. Now, how do you translate that into a practical day-to-day plan for the 90-day sprint? That's section 3, action plan and accountability.
Right, time to get tactical. You need a concrete plan, probably written down journal, piece of paper, whatever works. And the absolute key here is focusing on controllable inputs, not outcome goals.
Explain that difference. It sounds important.
Hugely important. An outcome goal is something like, I want to earn an extra $1,000 this month, or I want to lose 15 pounds. These things aren't fully in your control. Market forces, metabolism, lots of variables.
Okay, so what's an input goal?
An input goal is the action you take, which you have 100% control over. So instead of lose 15 pounds, the input goal for a 12-week fitness sprint might be, I will go to the gym 36 times.
Oh, so 3 times a week for 12 weeks. That's specific and measurable, and you either do it or you don't.
Exactly. It's binary. Success or failure is entirely on you, and the source says get even more specific. Microschedule it.
Microskip.
Don't just say, go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Put it in your calendar. Monday, 5:00 p.m. to 5:45 p.m. Go to gym. Do these 5 specific exercises. Remove all friction, all potential for waffling or deciding what to do when the time comes. Just execute the plan.
And this applies to other goals too, like the financial one.
Absolutely. If the outcome goal is earn more money, maybe the controllable inputs are spend 2 hours scripting new videos every single day, or post 2 videos per week instead of 1, or make 20 cold calls every weekday. Things you can physically do and check off a list. You control the effort.
Got it. Input goals, microscheduled. But even the best plan can fail if motivation dips, right? That's where accountability comes in.
Yes, and this needs real teeth. Motivation is fickle. It will fade over 90 days. So the blueprint demands real-world consequences, usually involving someone else, a friend, a partner.
How does that work?
You write down your specific input-based plan for the 90 days, or maybe just for the next week. You send it to your accountability buddy, and you agree on a real painful consequence if you fail.
Painful how? Like you owe them money.
Exactly. Loss aversion is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
The speaker's example, commit to shooting 4 YouTube videos this week. Tell your friend, if I don't send you proof of all 4 by Sunday night, I owe you $100 for each video I missed. That hurts.
Ouch. Yeah, that would get me moving.
There's another great example in the source material. A friend who hadn't posted content for 6 months. He wrote a check for $1,000, gave it to his friend, and said, cash this if I don't post 10 videos in the next 10 weeks.
Did it work?
Like a charm. After 6 months of nothing, he posted 10 videos in 10 weeks straight. The threat of losing that grand was a way bigger motivator than the hope of potential success from the videos.
So the consequence has to be genuinely undesirable. Public accountability works too, right?
Right.
Like posting your goal online.
Yep, telling people on Instagram or wherever I'm doing X, check in with me, create social pressure. The point is, combine the identity, the clear input-based plan, and a painful consequence for failure. You're stacking the deck in your favor.
Okay, this structure makes sense. Now, the source makes a strong recommendation about what goal to focus on for that first 90-day sprint, especially if you feel trapped like the speaker did. It talks about fountainhead goals.
Yes, and the primary fountainhead goal recommended is improving your finances.
Why finances specifically? Why not health or relationships?
Because up to a certain point, money acts as the enabler for improving almost everything else. Think about the speaker's own story. Getting his finances sorted allowed his wife to quit her job. Massive time freedom boost.
Right.
That time freedom then allowed him more time to work out, improving his health. The money allowed them to travel, reduce in stress, and afford better quality food, again impacting health. Financial stability buys back your time, reduces stress, and gives you the resources to invest in your health and experiences.
It removes so many constraints. If you're constantly stressed about bills, it's hard to focus on self-improvement elsewhere.
Exactly. Financial struggle tends to bleed into every other area of life. So tackling that first can unlock progress everywhere else.
So the actionable steps for a finance-focused sprint would be things like setting a specific savings goal, aggressively cutting expenses, Finding ways to earn more.
Yes, all based on controllable inputs. Track every penny. Set a budget and stick to it ruthlessly. Commit to X hours of side hustle work per week. And crucially, the source says, don't wait for January 1st. Start now. If you want radical change, the action needs to be immediate.
Okay, one final piece that seems vital for making this stick, especially when things get tough mid-sprint, documenting the gap. What's that about?
It's about tackling the feeling that the change isn't real. When you're deep in the 90 days, maybe day 45 or 60, the initial excitement is gone, and it can feel like you're just faking it, like you haven't actually changed that much.
Imposter syndrome kicks in.
Totally. Documentation is the antidote. It provides concrete proof of progress. For people who process things physically, he suggests daily journaling. Just write down your thoughts, feelings, struggles, wins related to the process, even a single paragraph.
And for others.
If you're more auditory or visual, lose your phone. Record short voice memos or quick videos, just talking honestly about where you're at, how you're feeling, what's working, what's hard.
How does looking back help?
Because when you hit that inevitable slump, when you feel like giving up, you can go back and listen to the voice note you recorded on day 1, or read the journal entry from week 2 when you were just starting out. You hear the old mindset, the old frustrations.
Ah, so you see the contrast.
Precisely. It makes the transformation real. It bridges the gap between the old you and the current you, proving to that doubting voice in your head that, yes, significant change has happened. It holds you accountable to your own past self.
That's powerful. Okay, let's quickly synthesize this whole blueprint for you listening. It seems like a clear cycle.
It really is. You start with that brutal, radical honesty, the reality check. That clears the ground for the crucial identity shift, deciding who you are.
That identity then dictates the specific, controllable inputs, the daily actions you take. And those actions are locked in place by real-world accountability with tangible consequences.
And the result, as seen in the source story, can be genuinely life-altering. The financial freedom, the dream house, the time with family, it wasn't luck. It was built brick by brick through daily actions driven by that initial decision and the system to enforce it.
Which brings us back to the very beginning. That definition of a decision as cutting off all other options. If that's the first and most critical step, and it's tied to adopting an identity, here's something to think about.
What is one specific habit, one action aligned with your old identity that you need to completely cut off right now, non-negotiably?
And what's the real immediate consequence you'll impose on yourself if you fail to act in accordance with the new identity you've just decided upon? Who are you now, and what is simply no longer an option?
Thinking about the real cost of not following through, maybe that's the most powerful takeaway from this entire blueprint.